Dear third grade students, this is our fourth lecture, so please pay attention. At the last lecture, we finished the simple chart, which is the simple bar chart. Now we will turn to the bar chart. Can we transform the bar chart into a pie chart? Yes, of course. We can change or transform our bar chart to pie chart or to interpolation line or path or marker or anything of them. So we can make it by the following steps. We will make a double click and then we can click on edit, then on properties. Okay, sorry. Okay. There is more than one window can be appeared. If we click on the pairs, this window will appear and the properties will be different. The properties here is specialized of the bars or the purple bars. So we can make this. We will click on data label mode and we can change our chart size or fill and border or variables. We can change the bar graph or bar chart to the pie chart by this window and by clicking on variables. By clicking on element type, we can choose bar or interpolation or path, marker, by, and so on. Apply. This is our pie graph or pie chart, which is considered to the percentage of each gender, which is males, the percentage of males and the percentage of females. Okay. In our forecasting course, we know that how to draw the scatter plot. We can draw it by many steps in SPSS. We can apply it now. We will click on the graphs. If we want to create a scatter plot of average income and the total expenditure of household, if you set markers by the type of heating, so we can draw the scatter plot. Scatter plot can be obtained by clicking on the graphs, then click on legacy dialogs, and finally we can find it at scatter and dots. Let's start by sample scatter plot. Here the example is create a scatter plot of average income and total expenditure. So y-axis here will be the total expenditure. Y-axis here is the dependent variable. Let's search on total expenditure. Total expenditure here, and turn it to y-axis, but x-axis here is the average income. Yes, it is. Then we will set markers by the gas or solid fuel, or heating, the type of heating. Can we make the scatter plot? Yes. This is our scatter plot. It is between the average income and the total expenditure. Okay. So when we try to graph or plot the scatter plot or the scatter graph, we can make the following steps. Firstly, we should define the axis, which is x-axis and which is y-axis. Here, the x-axis is average income, and y-axis is the total expenditure. Then we will set markers by the type of heating. Optionally, we can label cases by a variable. If we have the names of respondents, that would be the label. Using the chart editor, we also can do this dilemma. And also we can change the color of the type of markers. Okay. For example, this is the fill and border. We can change the chart size, and can we know the measures of sample tendency, the measures of distribution, and the measures of asymmetry? Yes, we can. Firstly, we can define the central tendencies and measures of distributions and measures of asymmetry and quantiles for total expenditure of the households in this example. There are measures of descriptive statistics which are obtained by clicking on Analyze menu and selecting descriptive statistics. Then we will select finally descriptive. Select the variable which should be analyzed. If we would like, we can standardize variables as well as it is shown on the figure below. So by entering on SPSS, we can go to Analyze menu. Then we will select the descriptive statistics and then descriptive. This is a descriptive statistics and descriptive. We want to make our variable is the total expenditure. Let's search on it. Yes, the total expenditure is our variable. Can we click on options and let's click on the following: on the mean, if we want the mean, on the standard deviation, on the minimum value of this variable, and the maximum value of this variable, and variable list. It is a default setting here, and we can click on any of these, on sum, on variance, on range, any one we want. Continue. Then we will click OK. This will be our descriptive statistic. It gives to us the total expenditure, the minimum, maximum, mean, and standard deviation. Let's go back and apply it again. Click on Analyze, Descriptive Statistics, and go to our frequencies. We want to explain the following variable: total expenditure, and we will move it to a variable, and we want to show our statistics. If we wanted to know the quartiles, or if we wanted to make this know the central tendency measures, which is mean, median, for example, mode. Okay, if we wanted to know the dispersion measure here of this variable, we click on standard deviation, on, for example, minimum and maximum. If we want to know the skewness or kurtosis, we can click on continue and click on OK. So we can know the measures of central tendencies and the measure of dispersions by two ways: by clicking on Analyze Descriptive Statistics, by frequencies, or by clicking on Descriptive. This will reach us to this table. This table will be here. This is the total expenditure. This is the total number of it, which is 222. We can know our mean and the median, mode, and we can know the standard deviation, the skewness, the standard error of skewness, standard error of kurtosis, and we can know our maximum and minimum, and finally percentiles, which is 25% to 50%, and finally 75%. And we know that the 50% percentile, which equal to the median. Okay, so we can conclude many points. So please pay attention. There is 222 households were examined in this country. It is a number of cases. The average of monthly expenditure is 99,692.72. The half of the household spend more than 85,500. The other half of them spend less, 85,500 is the value above and below which half of the cases fall. The most frequently occurring monthly expenditure is this number. Multiple modes exist, and this number is the smallest value. This is the smallest value. Okay? Multiple modes exist, the smallest value is shown. So the first or the fifth note we can take it on from this table is the average dispersion around the mean is, this is the average dispersion. Long right tail asymmetry, which is a distribution with a significant positive skewness, has a long right tail. Okay, and the lowest total expenditure of household is 5,000. The maximum or the highest total expenditure of household is 337,000. And finally, there is 25% of household have lower monthly expenditure than 59,875, and there is 75% have higher. Okay, and vice versa. So now let's turn to the correlation and the linear regression. It is a very important step here because we explain it in our lecture and in the forecasting course. So let's pay attention of the correlation and linear regression topic. Our example here is there any relationship between the total expenditure and average income? Beginning salary and current salary are quantitative variables, so the relationship between them is a correlation. Thus, the correlation coefficient should be calculated. We can calculate the correlation coefficient from Analyze menu, then click on Correlate and Bivariate. For quantitative normally distributed variables, we choose the percent correlation coefficient. If the data are not normally distributed or have ordered categories, choose Kendall's or Spearman, okay, which measures the relationship between rank or orders. Okay, so here we can answer to this question, which is there any relationship between the total expenditure and average income, by the following steps. Let's apply Analyze, then we can click on Correlate, Bivariate, and enter our variables, which is the total expenditure, and the another variable which is the average income. It's here, average income, and click on person correlation. We click on options, turn on means and standard deviation, and cross product deviation and covariance. Okay, covariance can be displayed by clicking on these options. Covariance is an standardized measure of the relationship between two variables, equal to the cross product deviation divided by n-1. It shows the direction of a relationship, which is positive relation or negative relation, and we know that the correlation is the summation of x minus x bar multiplied by y minus y bar over the standard deviation of them. Then we can click on OK. These tables will appear. Excuse me. From the following table, we find that there is a positive, medium, strong, and a significant relationship between the average expenditure and income. Okay. This is the value, which is 0.539. Here, the first table define the mean and found the standard deviation of each variable. The second table is a correlation between the total expenditure and average income. Here, the correlation is 1 because it is the correlation between the total expenditure and itself. So, there is a perfect correlation between them. But there is a positive, medium, strong, and significant relationship between average expenditure and income, which is 0.539. Thank you, and please apply this example on your SPSS at your home. Goodbye.